appreciate y'all being here today. This is, I think, always a great time for everybody that's involved in college baseball, from players, coaches, trainers, sports information directors, and of course, baseball fans. For everybody. A few years ago, they started a national starting date that everybody starts on the same day. So when you look around the country, and basically 300 Division I teams, start baseball this Friday. It's a great time. As I've gone around the last few months and tried to talk about the team, I've struggled, I think, at times to figure out what words to explain this team, to describe this team. Usually at this point, you're talking about preseason All-Americans, and we've had our share. Guys like last year, Bobby Wall, and Drew Pomerantz, and others. This team doesn't have that, but this team has some other things that we'll talk about in a few minutes. But one of the things that this team has is a lot of depth, and one of the things that happens through recruiting, and as especially you guys that cover baseball a lot understand about the draft, and through attrition in baseball programs, sometimes it's hard to calculate. Sometimes it's hard to calculate your roster from year to year. Last year, I remember taking pregame infield, outfield at times where we were just one deep, all the way around the infield, and either because of injuries or just because of that's where we were at that particular time with that position. And certainly one of the things that we wanted to shore up in recruiting to add some depth, and this team certainly has that. And with depth, I think a few things happen. Certainly, from that football standpoint, if somebody goes down, there's somebody behind them to step in their place. But the other thing that happens with depth is that I think it brings a competitiveness to the team for each position. One of the things that people have been talking about a long time is, when you're pushed, when there's a guy standing next to you, you tend to work harder, you tend to come to practice every day, knowing that there's somebody standing next to you that's good enough to take your position, and that's a good thing. But I also think it works in another way, and the other way that I think is a positive for us is, once the season begins, there's other options, and almost the reverse of what I just said. It kind of takes the pressure off some of the guys to where if you don't have that depth, and a kid's not quite having the year that he wants or the week that he wants, there's not a lot of options out there. So we've seen that, with this team. When we talk about this team, it's certainly hard to not talk about the 8th-ranked